What's up guys, it's PS. We're going to check Champions tier list based on patch 10.6 Korea server data that we collected. Champions OP score is determined by win rate, pick and bet rates, preference by high elo players, and viability as first pick. Are you guys ready to see the list? In top, 52 champions were picked 0.5% or more. Here in top, there are 2 champions beyond tier 1. Wukong and Garen. Wu is picked 10% with 53% win rate consistently with ban rate of nearly 50%. Even though Garen was nerfed in patch 10.6, he is still dominating top with 12.9% pick rate and 52.4% win rate. Especially, he is the second most uncountable champion in top. In tier 1, it's interesting to see Poppy instead of Darius. First, Darius is in the border of tier 1 and 2. He can be in tier 1 if the win rate gets to 51%, but one of the best in tier 2 if the win rate drops to 50%. Patch 10.6 nerf did a critical damage, or he's perfectly balanced now. Also, if Wukong gets another nerf next patch, Darius can join back to tier 1. On the other hand, Poppy is good counter against dashing champions like Irelia, Wukong, Fiora, Jax, who became more popular with changed DD and Borg. You can guess it, he's the most uncountable top champion. You should keep an eye on Fiora and Renekton as well. We'll explain Renekton more when we talk about jungle later, but it feels like his tier elevated because Elys's tier is raised and Darius is demoted from tier 1. Fiora consistently got small buffs, and now she is picked 6% with 51% win rate in Korea, 8% pick rate with 52% win rate globally. Other than that, we want to share an interesting data. First, Borg Rush Irelia is now the most popular build. Once Borg build spreaded, her pick rate jumped to 10%, and this build was picked 87% in patch 10.6. And even though pick rate is dramatically increased, her decent win rate puts her in tier 3 and possibly in tier 2 if the player is proficient. Meanwhile, Crazy Bully Kalista top, who even showed in LPL, has the lowest OP score due to her champion difficulty. Next, we'll pick our OP picks. First, Garen and Wukong should be picked if they are open. These two can be used in mid as well. Poppy should be practiced to counter popular top champions at the moment. The other 2 champions are Kled with consistent 53% win rate and Pantheon, who is considered highly in high elo. We'll pick for low tiers as well. In the following order, champions showed the best performance and statistics. Players found Poppy quite difficult, so up to Platinum, try these 10 champions mainly and think about how to counter them. For junglers, it's Spider-Man season. Without a doubt, Elise can be in tier 0 with her current performance. In Korea, she is picked 16% with 52.7% win rate and 60% ban rate. I mean, you can barely play her. Since there are multiple patches to enhance top and jungle's impact, Elise, who can utilize those advantages, became OP. Among many familiar faces in tier 1, there are 2 new faces, Wukong and Graves. We won't explain much about Wukong since he has OP specs in patch 10.6. About Graves, he became decent AD jungle in the current patch. Thanks to multiple buffs in Phase Rush trial, he has 13% pick rate and 51% win rate. How's he doing in low tier? Well, he has 8% pick rate and 51.5% win rate. The following graph show that buff in 10.5 increases pick rate to 6%, and it went to 9% after we introduced Phase Rush Graves. Win rate also shows a persistent rising trend instead of dropping at once. In Korea, Phase Rush is the dominant runes on Graves now, which shows the meta is shifting. In tier 2, we again see familiar faces with other easy picks. Among tier 2, Zac seems to be hidden OP teamfight champion. Do you guys remember that Riot tried to expand jungle champions pool? Some of them actually made pick rate of 0.5%, but most of them are stuck in tier 5. At least for platinum or higher, the patch was kinda bullshit. Of course, Riot targeted for low tier players, and it had a slight success on them. Teemo Jungle has 0.55% pick rate with 42% win rate in Platinum or above, but once we see Gold or lower, he has 1.6% pick rate with 47.3% win rate. This shows that we should definitely split the statistics for low and high elo. Now, we'll pick 5 hidden OP champions. Based on raw statistics, Karthus and Graves should be in the list, but there are very snowbally champions that are better if players have more skill gap. Also, they have extreme preference among players, so 5 hidden OP champions without those 2 are Elise, Rek'Sai, Echo, Shyvana, and Trundle. Trundle is picked 1.7% with 52.5% win rate, and he has a clear role in current topside meta. Shyvana is considered easy AP jungle champion with consistent 52% win rate. Let's wrap up by picking 10 champions for low elo players. Zac, Shyvana, J4, Rammus, and Master E are the top picks. Funeral comp is still viable, and even without funeling, E has a good performance in low elo. Now it's time for mid. There are 54 champions that you can play, but unlike top, mid doesn't have a big OP score difference. Mid is pretty well balanced, which means first pick and counter pick have higher weight. First, Wukong and Garen are in tier 1 again in mid. Then, Pantheon, Zoe, LeBlanc, who are considered highly in high elo, showed great performance to be placed in tier 1. Katarina's win rate wasn't affected by DD much since it wasn't her common build. At the moment, she is picked 7% with 53.5% win rate. This is kinda insane. There are fewer tier 2 champions due to bigger gaps with tier 3 champions. Echo, Fizz, Diana are pretty familiar faces. But now, Sylas joined them in tier 2. He started as Ornn Connor, but as players valued him higher, he is now picked more than 12%. Top and jungle Sylas are in tier 4 and 5, but mid Sylas is in tier 2, which is the main point. Other than that, mid Ornn and Victor are now in tier 5. Moreover, Qiyana seems to have the same performance, but her pick and ban rates are dropping steadily. In Master or higher, she's picked 6% with win rate of 53%, which became a featureless pick. We assume the mobility boots nerf affected her. However, Talon is showing the opposite trend with plenty of players. Let's pick hidden OP champions, but this time some of the picks require some proficiency. Talon, Pantheon, Katarina, Zoe have really high OP scores. If these are too difficult to get used to now, then we recommend to practice Garen and Mid Nocturne. Mid Nocturne has been showing great performance since preseason, but pick rate is dropping constantly, although he is still very strong in lane and roaming. We'll end mid list by picking 10 champions for low elo. These are the following champions. Only LeBlanc, 9% pick rate and 48% win rate requires some proficiency, so if we had to pick someone else, we would replace LeBlanc with Mid Morgana. In patch 10.6, Mid Morgana is picked 0.9% with 52.7% win rate in gold or lower in Korea. Globally, in platinum or higher, she has 54% win rate with 0.8% pick rate. In gold or lower, similar trend is shown with 1% pick rate and 53% win rate. For Mid Morgana, we recommend Comet instead of Glacial Augment. Since many AD assassins other than Talon are not doing well, ban Talon and play Comet Ignite Mid Morgana, who is strong in lane and counter top Wukong. Indeed, she has 53% win rate against top Wukong. Mid Morgana didn't make into the tier list since her pick rate is only 0.4% in platinum or above in Korea. Bot has much less champions than obvious. It was the easiest list to make. Only Misfortune is in tier 1. Tahm Kench can be in tier 2 only if played with Senna even after the nerf in patch 10.6, and Ezreal, Varus, and Ashe made into tier 2. Most of other ADCs are in tier 3. Since impact of bot decreased, it's more important to pick a better comp with support than picking ADC from tier 3. Let's talk about 2 champions that are currently popular. First, Kai'Sa is picked more after the buff, and things like Hail Kai'Sa were tried, but she's only left with 47% win rate with 26% pick rate. Even after changing the scope to globally, she has 47.8% win rate with 20% pick rate, which shows Koreans love Kai'Sa. Comet Armor Pen Varus is spotlighted to counter Senna and TK and rely less on early lane. Indeed, he's picked more and more, and Comet has a better win rate than Lethal Tempo. Thus, Lethal Tempo is holding the win rate back. Once Comet Armor Pen Varus becomes a common build, he may be in tier 1 with Misfortune. So our OP picks will be Misfortune, Varus, and Senna and TK. We recommend these 10 champions for low elo again. However, Comet Armor Penetration Varus can be in tier 1 for low elo players as well. Last but not least, let's see support tier list. Senna is in tier 1 due to Regis Senna and TK comp. But if she was in tier 0 in patch 10.5, now she dropped to tier 1. Nautilus is out of tier 1 now. Also, Nautilus, Blitz, Leona, Thresh are not as tanky as before, and utility supports like Zillion, Janna, Lulu, and Nami could win conditionally. In high elo, Sett and Pantheon supports are being studied with decent performance so far. Especially, pros will focus on these picks for pick and ban strategy once they seem viable picks because Sett and Pantheon could be used in other lanes. About Sona, she shows quite different statistics in Korea and globally. Globally, she has 54% win rate, but only 50-51% in Korea server. Also, she's played more globally by 1% point than in Korea. Since the builds are almost the same, we believe the win rate gap is due to difference in playstyle in different servers. For hidden OP champions, we recommend Bard, Zillion, Pantheon, Thresh, and Janna. Supports seem to be balanced well like mid, and champions have their unique features and advantages other than those 5. Practice champions to your taste. For low elo, we recommend these 10 champions. Swain's support is a quite new face. Swain is less prone to die than other damage supports. Today, we walked through champions tier list. We'll continue to improve this content. If this helped, please come back for new videos. Thank you.